Yeah, so they announced this last week, but Roman Reigns is back. I remember Vince McMahon. He never posts on Twitter, but on Twitter he said next week on Raw, which was about, I guess now 2 weeks ago, right? He said Roman Reigns is going to
Yeah,
be on Raw next Monday, and they obviously that was had a lot to do with ratings because Roman Reigns was a big deal. Him having to leave due to leukemia, and most people knew like if he's got bad news, he obviously ain't coming back. Like to say that I'm dying of cancer, like we knew that it was going to be good news. But a lot of people on the internet, a lot of stupid people on the internet, were saying because he recovered so fast that it had to have been fake. Like he faked his illness while he was hugging his mother and all this shit.
it
Like,
was disgusting. There was actually this one a person on Twitter who, or this company who broke it down. I mean, obviously there's different types of leukemia. I mean, any type of leukemia is bad. It's not like one is like there's no good type of leukemia. Obviously, there's some parts that are worse than others, but I mean, you don't need to lose your hair, lose muscle mass, or be completely like a vegetable and have cancer. And we also don't know what type of treatment he did. There's so
yeah,
many different variables to it, but for people to say that it's a work, it's just if you logically think about it, they finally got the title on Reigns, and they were trying to get him over. They're not going to just randomly take it away. It's so stupid.
yeah. You just have
People,
people who hate Roman so much that they have to like. Don't get me wrong. Like you know that I am not the biggest Roman Reigns fan. That is well documented. But this man went through a lot, and I think it's very disrespectful to be like, oh yeah, no, that he faked his illness, and like it makes no sense. It really doesn't. Like you saw the video, you saw him coming out on Raw, that long entrance he did. He was hugging all his family members. There's no way that was fake. Like, come on.
yeah, I mean, I'm very happy. I
I'm
mean, me
honestly
personally,
surprised because I mean, from my experience, people who I know who have had cancer and it comes back, usually that's not good. But with Roman, I guess he
of
got
course,
lucky. I don't know because there
I
are
mean,
different types of cancer. I'm not pretending to be an expert.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was very
yeah.
surprised. I thought he would be gone for at least honestly a year. I didn't think.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. A lot of people were surprised by it because, like you said, there's different types of cancers, there's different types of treatments. Everyone's body's different, but the one thing that I'm frustrated with is I didn't mind WWE using it in the storyline, like the night Dean turned on Seth.
yeah,
I actually really love that. I thought that was great. Like, listen, at the end of the day, it's wrestling, and people were shitting on WWE for using that, but now, so they were shitting on WWE for promoting his cancer in the part of their storyline, but now they're shitting on WWE for throughout all of Monday Night Raw. They would promote like some fake bullshit storyline along with it. And by the way, Roman Reigns is in remission. So people are just going to complain, complain, and complain. And me personally, I didn't care if he didn't wrestle again. I just wanted to make sure like he'd be fine for his family, because
yeah.
it's fucking cancer. But I'm
Um,
very happy.
what do you think they're
I,
gonna do
I'm
with him?
he. I think it's going to be him and Dean versus two people at Mania,
Uh huh.
and they'll all win. Like Seth Rollins will win the title, then they'll all celebrate and it'll go off air. And then the next night, Dean will turn on Roman, and then they'll feud. I mean, that's how I see it going. Honestly, I don't really see it going any other way. Like they're not going to make Roman and Dean because I think that's where they're going to go. I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but the rumors are that Dean is staying. I think one of the reasons Dean is staying is Roman, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have a program together because they've never had a legitimate program. They've had one match together that was like 10 minutes long at a Survivor Series before.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
but I
know.
just don't see.
Yeah.
No, I just don't see with the good news they're going to turn Dean heel and then have them fight at Mania yet.
So you
I think
think
they'll
they
wait
turn
till
him face
after.
just to turn him heel again? I mean, we also don't know if he's staying or
Yeah,
leaving. So
I'm sure he's staying.
I don't
Isn't he
know.
being advertised for events?
He was advertised and then they pulled it, so I guess they were trying to hide it. But why would they try to hide it? Like, why would they want people to think that their guy is leaving when he's staying? You know what I mean? That makes no sense.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Dean is. I don't think Dean is leaving. I think he might stay.
Well, he
Roman,
definitely legitimately was going to leave. We know that. Like, there's no way that they would have put out that statement if it was fake.
No, of course. I didn't think it was fake. Everyone thinks that was work. I didn't think that was work either. But I mean, there's still a chance of him leaving, but I don't know if it's going to happen now because of this Roman
You
thing.
saw what Roman said, like, I'm gonna talk to Dean about him leaving. You saw that, right?
He tweeted that.
No, like he was interviewed by whoever, and they asked him about Dean Ambrose, and Roman said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." Meaning, like, I'm gonna talk to him, and he's not gonna leave. That's what
I
Roman
mean,
said.
listen. If even if he left, where is he going to go? I get it. Like, there's Ring of Honor, there's New Japan,
There's a
there's
T-shirt company.
AEW.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm not saying he won't be successful because he's obviously being underutilized like crazy in WWE. I mean, he should be this lunatic fringe, and he's never lived up to that character.
Yeah,
And just when I
he
thought
thought a
he
heel
would,
turn would make it better, and it was just
and it,
it was
yeah,
terrible. It
but
has
that
nothing to do with him. It's just the bad writing, and that's
it's the
why he wanted to
creative.
leave in the first place. That's why I'm thinking like you're saying he's gonna stay just because of Roman Reigns, but I don't think they're gonna. They would have to promise him that they'd write his character better, and I don't think they're gonna do that. Like I don't think. I just don't think
I don't
someone
know.
like a Dean Ambrose fits the current PG era. Like he would have been
No, that's not
perfect.
true.
He would have been perfect. Like his best work was in CZW when he was like busting his
No,
head open
no.
and everything. Like
Bullshit. That's
name the
like when
most.
Batista
But like, what's the most memorable thing that Dean Ambrose has done? Can you think of it from the top of your head? Like, I'm not saying that to trash on Dean. I like him, but like
winning the
besides the
title,
Shield.
doing the cash in,
But
where it
was that a
was
good reign?
it was a good reign for a few months. I mean, listen, he won the Shield triple threat. After 2016, his career went downhill. There's no denying that. But my whole thing is, especially with Bruce Pritchard being back, because I personally believe, I think he wrote Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. I thought they were both very good shows. I thought the storylines are very interesting. I think Bruce Pritchard has a lot of input. Well, we know that he's reported to be one of the highest creative people in the company.
Well, we'll talk
I
about him
think,
later, but he was the one that actually he produced that Batista segment with him attacking Ric Flair and everything. That
which
was
was
him.
amazing. Yeah. But
Uh,
one thing that I have to say before we move on is I know I normally shit on Dave Meltzer, and I not that I don't dislike him. I just think he's annoying. But I specifically remember him and Brian Alvarez trashing WWE, saying this guy could potentially die, and they're using it as a storyline. And then the night after Roman says he's in remission, he's like, "Well, I spoke to a few doctors, and we knew he'd be back. We knew he'd be back in a short period of time. So,
yeah, he's
I'm
the
happy for
expert.
blah blah blah." It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, you change the narrative, and that's just very frustrating because you sit here like, God forbid he dies. Obviously, God forbid. But you're using his cancer. You can't talk about WWE when you're using his cancer to promote your own ego. Well, we knew, blah, blah, blah. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Before we move past this Roman thing, just gonna ask, what do you think they're gonna do with Roman in the future? So you said at WrestleMania he might do like some throwaway tag match or something like that because
Yeah, with
they
him and
offered him that in
Dean.
the Shield. But like, what do you think after that? Like, they're obviously gonna put Roman back to the top. He's gonna have a Universal Championship match, maybe against Seth Rollins. I don't know.
Sure, he'll feud with Dean, and then after that, he'll go after Seth.
So, do you think that it's going to be like Roman will ever turn heel, or well, he can't turn heel now that he beat leukemia? But like,
I don't think so.
Do you think the crowd will ever turn on him after like he got the biggest pop of his career that night, and people
He
do
might.
have
They
sympathy
might.
for him?
They might. I
They
mean,
might just get tired of him again because they might feel sorry for him and they don't want anything to happen to him, but they also
but
don't
it's
want him
wrestling.
winning the title.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
wrestling.
just thought it
At
was
the end
weird
of
how
the
they've been booking him though. Like they booked him as like this really, pretty much like the Superman of WWE. Like he can't be beaten clean, and he's just a badass. The way they booked him winning the title against Brock, remember how they did that? Like it wasn't clean.
Yeah, well, that was more of, I guess, to keep Brock like a big deal, which he
So you
really
think
isn't.
Brock's done after Seth, right?
I don't think so.
No.
It's stupid for him to be done. He
I saw
can.
things saying WWE's offering him like $12 million a year
I wouldn't be
to
surprised.
stay.
Listen, you have to understand. He can do both UFC and WWE. So he does 1 or 2 fights every 2 years, and he does 4 or 5 matches every year for WWE. So he has two sources of income. He's not leaving. He's not going anywhere.
No. So you think? So overall, we're happy that Roman Reigns is back.
It was a good episode of Monday Night Raw too.
Yeah, we'll talk about the rest of it later. But
But
yeah,
yeah, I'm very happy for Roman.